Morning, everybody. Welcome to Entrepreneurship Impact. In case you're wondering what this Entrepreneurship Impact is about, it's a weekly session whereby we provide you dose of entrepreneurship stories and experience to inspire and excite you. So for entrepreneurs out there, bear in mind that you're not alone. We're all entrepreneurs as well. So today we are very fortunate to have Mavis to join us in this sharing, to share with her story about how she started. So just a little background about herself. She herself is an ICF certified coach, also leading the company called Try. And I think recently she has her latest project called HMC Happy Me Career. So definitely for herself, when she started her entrepreneurship journey, it isn't easy. And I believe that she has a lot of exciting stories to share with us, how she started her whole journey to how she ended up today. So probably I shouldn't steal the limelight any further. Pass this stage to her to share with us more about her entrepreneurship journey. So Mavis, please.
Oh, thanks, Yong Kai. Good morning, everyone. I think I have to thank the Entrepreneur Impact Committee to actually invited me on this platform to share. So basically, the entrepreneur journey for me started out in about 1.5 years ago, and I started actually wanting to start my dream of being an entrepreneur. So I've actually always wanted to start my own business ever since I was in college. But of course, when I was younger, I feel as many people who have felt is experience. We would like to actually gain experience from the corporate world, and then to see if there's any skills that we can, acquire. I like family business. So what happens is that I was working in a corporate world, and then I started to say, and last year in 2018, 2 years ago, in 2018 October, I was asking myself, hey, if I don't start now, when will I start? And I'm age 35. How many 5 years can I wait? How many 8 years? Before that, I was in an insurance company doing insurance. So I was self-employed. So I know basically self-employed is also something like your own business. But it has never occurred to me that it's a business of my own. So I started to say, okay, now what can I do? I have many ideas before that, before I came to create and found Try Management Consultancy. I had ideas like wedding business, even thinking of already done a proposal for education platform, and then I had it put on hold for some reasons. So that's why I came about to, found Try Management Consultancy. And that is because particularly what I've been doing for the last 12 to 14 years. I've been in the service industry since I was age of 2021. I was doing call centers for IRAS, and then it started off with events marketing, and then it goes on to sales. So I was always been in the service line, in the service industry. So to me, I actually wanted something very close to heart. So I started Try Management Consultancy, a service management firm boutique in Singapore. And this entrepreneur journey for the last 1.5 years, I would actually have to present it very honestly, is that it's not easy. Not really easy. I started, many a times with not much of a lot of skills or knowledge like business management. All these people would think that, hey, maybe I should actually study in MBA or something to acquire such skill sets, or even go for like courses. But I didn't, because I was hustling all the way, trying to see what is the society can teach me. Many a times when we graduate from university, right, we are going into the University of Society, 人生大学. So that's why the society has taught me a lot, because people in the corporate world, businessmen, business friends, actually taught me real skills rather than skills or knowledge you get from MBA. So that is the reason why the journey wasn't very easy, because one, network is small. I have this limited pool of people that I can touch with. So it's about meeting the right people. I always know that it's about connections, building on network. And so I came out, last time I used to be in corporate world, I was actually very, I would say, isolated introvert. So it's many a times it's about training the personality along the way. So I'm glad that, when I started this, it comes very easy because I start to ask and I start to want to dare to ask. Must be daring to ask, then people will give you an answer. If you want to start an entrepreneur journey, the lessons I learned is about being curious, daring enough to ask for help, and not afraid to be vulnerable. If you think that you won't want people to see your weakness side, actually, there's yes and no to the answer. Yes, it will present you to be confident or to be strong, but actually, in fact, it created a form of mindset. If you can't recognize your own weakness and present your weakness and be proud of your weakness, then you can't ask people for help because your ego will say, okay, I won't want to ask this person for help because it seems that I'm less inferior, or it seems that hey, I can do better. Actually, there are people much better than us. It's about touching the right and like-minded people. Because if you were to put down that guard, people are more acquainted with you. And when they get acquainted and familiar with you, they want to help. There are many people who have gone through the same thing as me in the very hard route, hard truth, learning all the hard things in our own ways. And like ourselves, we wanted to help people who want to embark on entrepreneur journey and really understand what does it take to be entrepreneur journey. It doesn't mean that, I wake up today, I decide to start my own business, then I want to start my own business. You can okay? But you will actually meet obstacles like myself. And mindset and your own feelings have to be guarded. And as well as because you're going to knock doors, just like any salesperson knocking doors. And people will say, no, I don't think it's good. So it's about a law of large numbers. So last time when I was in insurance, I learned the concept of law of large numbers. It means you have to knock the doors to a large numbers to get that particular interest because you never know which door is the right door. So connections is also then again how to go to the door. But building connection doesn't mean that, oh, I build. It means I'm in the right path. Sometimes you have to go indirectly the path to find it. And you must make in effort. Nothing is about shortcut. I always thought when I started 1 year ago, I say, okay, maybe this is not the route consultancy. Nobody wants it. All the companies say, no, I don't think. Then I started to develop digital platform, which I'm very, very proud of myself to actually engage in this because one day I decided to say, I need something like a weapon, to go in to open the door as a door opener, you know. So that's why I developed digital platforms to engage companies as a form that, hey, I can improve your service engagements through this product. But when I was doing that, also there's challenges because it's actually a different set of arena that I'm in, and I'm still exploring how I can build connections. And also, one thing is I learned never ever to enclose yourself. And many a time psychologically, because I'm a coach also. So psychologically, what we always is as a person, if you are very immersed with your own business, with your own problems, you'll never ever be able to think out the box. So many a times, like myself, I'm a coach. I will self-coach myself to bring myself out from the box and to see in a third party, not Mavis perspective, okay, in a nobody's perspective, a passerby, to see and look what is the real problem is. And then I can see where else can I think out box. So self-coach and myself as a coach, there's always a limitations because this is still your perspective. Because other people's angles of looking at it and perspectives are different. That's why I always like to talk to people and have back-to-back Zoom sessions, which quite very exhausting. But it's good view because they give very realistic points of, is this doable? Is this visible? So what is the challenge? What is the market telling you? Because they are the ones that have been there before, they can be part of the market sensing. So this is one of the things. And also it's about, when you open up yourself a, a bit more, people will actually empathize together with you, feelings. And they will actually show, say, maybe you can partner with this, you can partner with that, give you some ideas. And the ideas may not be coming from you because if you are stuck in this, how can you unstuck with just your ideas? So I always in search and I always believe that moving forward, no one should be stuck in a problem but move forward. So this is a problem. So what's next? What's the solution? So this is what I'm always thinking is move forward. What can we do? What can we do? Yeah, so this is my entrepreneurial journey so far. And I'm still learning. It's only 1.5 years to age. There's many more to come. And then after that, of course, currently we are in these situations. So many a times we need to actually adjust ourselves into different. So one thing about entrepreneur and business owner, they are the same, but they are different in a very gray line. Entrepreneurs comes up with a lot of ideas that is very creative, but may not be business acute, with a strong sense of business acumen. Because many a times, if it's very unlike business owners. Business owner is definitely at the end of the day, what's the profit, what's the revenue, what is it that I gain. But entrepreneur sometimes can be very visionary. I would say the layman work as dreamers. So like what Simon Sinek has said, do you want to be a starving entrepreneur or do you want to be a profitable entrepreneur? Starving entrepreneur means that if you don't have the right arms, you are a visionary. But if you don't have the right arms to help you bridge the gap of where your weakness, then you are forever a starving entrepreneur. So that's why I always look out for people, leverage on allegiance, build allegiance, create a form of alliance and leverage resources. Because be honest, in Singapore, to start a business is very expensive. It's very unlike you start a business in China or start in business elsewhere where the materials, the resources are cheap. So how to be lean and how to go beyond, have to do one thing at a time. And what I learned was I'm a very impatient person. So when I started off, I want to get this thing done. But actually stepping back, I realized that I really need to slow down, be very objective, and take one step at a time.
Thank you for your sharing, Mavis. Actually, just now when you were sharing that about your journey, you mentioned that you started out as an insurance agent before you were ex agent before you step up to start your own business. So may we know the reason? What's your reason or rationale for doing so?
Like I said, I've always wanted to be a business owner when I was in college. So along the way, I honed my skills. Like, what are the skill sets that I can acquire before I start my own business? So I started with marketing, been events line, been in the BD role in a very small association, and I started out to go marketing manager. And I realized that very one thing, when you start a business, what you need? You need to bring in customers. How do you bring in customers? By selling a product. So selling a product is a sales component, a sales skills, which marketing manager don't have. So I decided to say, okay, at that time, my husband was also joined insurance. So he saw that I was very unhappy with my marketing job. And he said, hey, do you want to give it a try? So I said, okay, it seems interesting since I can get sales skills. And in corporate world, when I asked for, lateral transfer to a sales team, it takes forever. They will always say, oh, if there's an opportunity come out, we'll actually give you. Actually, is BOS, full of shit, bullshit. So the thing, sorry, my language, but it's really the situation where bosses in the corporate world will never want to lose a headcount in their team. That's the reality. And they always say they have their interest, but actually your interest, you have to take charge. So what I did was I joined insurance. And usually it's to acquire sales skills. So I actually learned how to sell to a B2C. And selling B2C to B2B is actually very different. So I guess when I was in insurance for 8 years, one, I get a taste of what is like a business owner, self-employed. It's actually somehow or rather, equivalent to a business owner because we are not salary paid, we earn. But of course, as a self-employed, when you have projects, you take on that project assignments or commissions-based so-called salary lah. But business owners don't have. It's pure no income at all unless you get your deals in. So one day, 8 years into a business, I keep asking myself, first, I started self-employed in the insurance. How am I going to fight with 30 over 1,000 agents? So I actually introduced and offer career coaching in the business. And then that is a unique point. So my bread and butter audience are graduates and young working professionals. So of course the network, like I say, is very limited because it's that range. It's not within that range, beyond that range. So one day I asked myself, how long can I do insurance? And definitely I like to help people, but my dream is not insurance. My dream is, I have so many ideas, business ideas that I like to actually explore. And that's why I decided to come out from insurance and start to do this because basically in 2018 October, that is the turning point. I see it as a blessing in disguise. Things happen, unfortunate things happen. So one day I asked myself, since God given you a chance and close one door and open another door, would you like to take that door? And so I decided to say, okay, because at age 35, how many more years can I go? Do I want to reach age 40? People, business owners or other people, would want to go into consultancy route when they have more contacts. And then I ask myself, does my context within what I'm doing right now helps? It's not helping. So why not start now, then start later? Right? Since I have the energy. Because at the age of 40, no one knows, and God knows, will I have the energy? I can tell myself maybe I don't have already because that fire is no longer there. That passion is no longer there. Because at age 40, I always tell my young graduates, when you age, your mindset age. When your mindset age, the thinking of chasing things is different. When you're at 20, you're very ambitious and zealous. When you're 30, you want a bit stability, but you have that passion to go out, but you're very scared because you've already gone through the number of years of working. And age 40, don't talk about it. It's all about I very scared retrenched. But people will think that, hey, I go consultant, I be self-employed, I'm not retrenched. Wrong. Please. Look at this pandemic. Look at this crisis. If you're self-employed, no business coming in, you're also self-declared retrenched, right, for that period of time until the economy comes. So what is being not retrenched is a reason as to go into a business. It's not a reason. A business is meant that you want to have a goal. Your end mind is to become rich, like Robert Kiyosaki, or Elon Musk, or maybe Apple Steve Jobs, who have passed with millions of dollars and billions. So it's like business owner is always recursive. What is next? Yeah, so that explains why I came out from insurance and started my own business.
Wow, I'm very impressed with your decision because I believe that for most individuals out there, might not be accurate, but I feel that most individuals out there, when they face what you face, they may just have given up and find a job and to work for the stable income. But instead, you choose a different path to do your own business. I think this is a spirit that a lot of people would want to have, and I definitely believe that it isn't easy lah. That after facing a unfortunate event, to start something that is very new. Yeah, but instead, most people will just go back to their comfort zone and do what they think is best lah, or what the society think is the norm for them. But during this process, when you start your own business, the events that you face, what is the most, should I say, the challenges that left you the deepest impression? Or maybe I rephrase in another way. The challenges that you face along the way, which challenge gave you the deepest impression? And which challenge taught you the most lessons?
I think every day or I think every day is a challenge, I would say, because challenge comes as and when in the journey, and it's always constantly. So, like I would say the most, I wouldn't say the most challenge. I would say actually every things that I deal with are very uh, thoughtful. Thoughtful as in is there's many lessons in taught within. For example, going into a business, how to even get your position right, get your branding right. You know, are you what are you trying to tell your story? What are you trying to sell? So basically, a lot of people will keep asking me, you know, what is it? So as coming from an insurance background and coming as a salesperson, there's always a script, right? Then I realized actually it's not about a script. You can't script your story. Okay, but you need to know why are you doing this. When you keep repeating why are you doing this, you get stronger, your story gets creative, gets more flavor, and with more conviction. So it's about why are you doing this that brings you every day to the challenge. So like for example, challenge you get the first deal in. How? You know, it has always been a constant mind. How to get first deal, how to get first deal. But before you get first deal, what must you do? So how do you do? So lesson learned, I would say a lot more lessons like research in market sensing, and do a lot of research. But always there's a point. How much can you prepare? How long can you prepare? How long can you do market research? Correct? So the next lesson learned is, are you willing to take the step? Because there's so much that you have done. So it's about testing it. So there's this particular investor company that I talked to. The person that I talked to was sharing me. An entrepreneur is to test their ideas, what works, what not works, and pivot. A business owner also pivots their businesses according to the business climate. And especially if you're living in a VUCA world. VUCA, V-U-C-A, means vulnerability, uncertainty, complex, and ambiguous. This VUCA world has since started since Cold War in the States. And because the technology age and everything keep catching up, you realize that business models are always on a constant disruption. That's why you will hear about entrepreneur and business owners using the term pivoting. What is pivot means? What is really pivot? So lesson learned is about pivoting the models that why you are here is very crucial. But do not be so stubborn to say I need to go this way. Because in a business approach, there's many angles that you can go in. If this approach that you are going in is like this for this moment, but let's say pandemic comes, what is the one thing that another can you go? Is there another approach? Because everybody are all uncertain, not just individuals. We are talking about businesses. Businesses come to a standstill. Even my business come to a standstill. So everybody is very, very low in morale. Even a business owner, I'm down. I'm really down. You know, but does that mean that I'm supposed to be down? No. So I always tell my fellow business owners in LinkedIn, and we share about what are our downs and challenges, and I told them that it's been busier than before, and which is in fact it is, because even though I'm not traveling around Singapore island-wide every day as I used to do, but I'm in front of the laptop from 10 a.m. all the way until 12 p.m. 12 a.m. midnight, or even 1 a.m. It's because I constantly have to think of what to do, and because of course in the daytimes are all a lot of Zoom meetings and sharing, and also then again, that is the part that I push back a lot of administrative legwork preparations that I have to do. So that's the that's the lesson learned, that there's many approaches. And another lesson learned is not to over exhaust. Like I can share with you for the last especially yesterday, I have total 6 Zooms since 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. 6 Zooms meetings. Individual, not webinars, not nothing, not attending lessons. 6 Zooms with 6 people. So in the morning with Sydney, my Australia team, and then I go again in Sydney, another sales guy to get opinions, and then goes on to another renowned experts for help at 1 p.m. and then 2 p.m. another business consultant, and then in the night. So it gets packed to pack. So it was very crazy, and I make an effort that not to pack myself so much and give myself time to clear the head, which is very, very important, because as entrepreneurs, you can meet a lot of people, but we must have a discipline and self-control, not to pack meetings. Why people will say, you say not to pack meetings, not to pack, have self-control in this. I thought I should meet more people. Yes, should meet more people, but you need to space out. People can wait. If you don't space out, what I realized was yesterday's very great lessons. I get over exhausted. So I haven't been having dinner time or lunch time with my family and my kids. I only had like half an hour lunch, half an hour dinner, or even 15 minutes dinner, 15 minutes lunch, and I quickly have to go for Zoom already. And I feel very bad. And yesterday, what I did was I had a proper dinner. But after dinner, that is the effect that comes, the exhaustion. I really exhausted till I have to, collapse onto the bed and sleep for half an hour. And after that, I'm still having headache. So that's one thing, is about giving yourself the time. And very important thing is, one of the Zoom sessions, one of the lady was asking me, Mavis, you have been packing all yourself with meeting. Do you have time to really think about a strategy? And then I asked myself, the last time I had a thought in my strategy are, every morning I wake up, what to do. Then it comes on and off. And I ask myself, am I worth it? Am I doing this worth it or not? Strategy is to keep you in place, to say and dismiss that question about what are you doing, if it's worth it. So the lesson learned, I would say, is a lot of lessons learned, not about challenges, because challenges are every day, everywhere. It's just the lesson learned and how we can take the lessons and apply. So moving forward, like this weekend after this, and then tomorrow one more, I'm trying to not touch the phones or technology except for TV. That's what I want to do. Yeah, back to you, Charles.
I definitely agree with you about the over exhaustion part. I believe that most entrepreneurs, when they first started, they are very eager. Hey, I have this one client. What if I can meet more? I'm going to be productive. So initially, they will go out to meet more clients, pack their appointments back to back. Personally speaking, I do experience what you experienced before, and I believe some entrepreneurs out there, they experience this kind of situation. Of course, other entrepreneurs will feel very envious. Hey, how I wish I have your activity rate. So it's good to have this activity, but I agree with what Mavis mentioned. during this process, it's very exciting to know that we are being productive. But somehow, after this long process of meeting a lot of clients, we realize that, hey, I am just meeting and doing. What is the bigger picture? What is my direction? Is it going to be the same? Will things change? And these are things that usually I myself, like what Mavis mentioned, can't think of all these other strategies as well, because we are just in a way mindlessly doing and doing and doing and doing. And I think this is a very big lesson for most entrepreneurs when they face this situation, that when you are in such process or this phase of entrepreneurship, it's always very important to give ourselves this free time. This free time is not to ask us to be less productive, but sometimes a little break will let us think of a bigger picture, to think of certain things, that whether this direction, do we still continue moving in this way, or do we fine tune to make it better? And I believe that when Mavis share this thing, it is a very good lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs, so that next time when we face such situation, we don't have to experience that, because we know that we need to give ourselves free time to do that. So I believe this is a very wonderful lesson that Mavis pointed out to us, which can save a lot of entrepreneurs a lot of less headaches, yeah, more time with the family and stuff. Yeah. So maybe just now you mentioned about certain beliefs and values that you follow. Okay. You mentioned about law of large numbers. I think that's one very big lesson that you learn from insurance. You learn about having connections. Uh, you mentioned about not about shortcuts. It's always about grinding as well, and it's always good to leverage on the team to learn on all these resources. So all these lessons that you mentioned, can I ask, how do you apply to your current company, Happy Me Career?
Mm. Happy Me Career is a digital platform that I've actually developed. My company is Try Management Consultancy. So then again, law of large numbers means that you have to knock doors, you have to talk to many people, uh, and you must be very daring to talk to people. So when I actually start out, I'm not sure, how to go about in approaching companies. As an insurance agent, we just have to pick up call and do random calling, right? It's the same to pick up call and or even email to companies, but which company must be very specific, or list down certain companies that you want to. It's very small SMEs, the target audience with less than 1%, your client. That is my mistake that I learned. So laws of large numbers is, yes, you want to build the pool of people to connect, but you need to connect right. And of course, it doesn't mean that a business with just a one-man show doesn't speak of everything, because that person can be a network of many networks. So that's why I came across business community group that actually tap on people's network as a form of a referral, and they give business in such. So there are business groups out there, and there are many business groups in that form. And it's about making yourself present. Because an entrepreneur, like what I've said, do you want to be a starving entrepreneur? If you don't want, then you have to be comfortable to get into that public figure space. Public figure is not about celebrity. It's about whether are you comfortable to present into business meeting and talk about and share what you want. And when you're sharing what you want in these meetings, it must show a form of humility, humbleness, and all. So connections wise, again, where to build? Does all these groups build faster, or is there a faster way to build, and how to build? So connections is one. And then so these are things that I've learned how to knock doors. It's not that easy, and I'm still fine tuning to how to knock the doors. Yeah. Does that answer the question? I kind of lost track.
I think these are all good replies, definitely from your experience. Any replies is lesson for us to learn. So just moving forward for Try Consultancy, what is your future plans of it?
Try consultancy because that's what I actually when I started off, I only started off with the consultancy and training in mind, and then that's when things started to pivot. I would say pivot because if it doesn't work, then what works? So I got to explore opportunities. If I want to build Try to a pool of consultants and trainers, as well as more other people working under this group, I would say I'm building like an empire, like your BCG, Boston Consulting Group, or even McKinsey, this type of consulting group. If I want to be at that level, I need to think of how I can build that level. And with that, what I did was I touched connections and meet the right person. So many a times, we have this problem as an entrepreneur. I didn't have money and I'm bleeding already. When can I start my team? When can I build my team? When is the time that I can see I have an office with a team of 6 people or more or even growing? So that is always a constant issue. I would say it's always in my mind because my dream is if I want to be like Mackenzie, I want to be like BCG, then I need to have a team, right? So how to build a team? And I now like start from zero. And now 1.5 years into the journey, it's not considered zero already. So there's something was done. So one thing very important is I met this Indian guy in India through LinkedIn, and he taught me a very good lesson is that because when you get people on board at this level, never ever think of giving salary for the person. Because basically you're starting from ground zero. How can you go and be headache and add on to your headaches of other issues with financials? What you are attracting is people with like-minded, with the same values that wants to fight with you from the beginning. If that person does not believe that, then he or she is not the right person. So that is very true because I was trying to build my training arm and my consultancy arm. So I was talking to a lot of consultants, and we for sure everybody are in the same situation or the same mindset. Can I partner with you? Because you have connections, you have clients, can I partner with you? But for me, honestly, I am not asking you to give me your clients. I'm asking you to partner because I need to leverage your expertise. Because that is where the area I'm lacking. And as a businessman or entrepreneur, I must recognize my weakness and how to build my weakness. I leverage on partnerships. So many a times other people do not think that way. And usually they think, why should I give my clients? Why should I be in this partnership? Correct? So it's about knocking the doors, not just your client doors, but knocking on doors that can attract the right talent. Because can this talent willing to stay and willing to start from zero? And you're looking at talents, not younger talents. Because what the Indian friend of mine was saying is that do not look for talents that is young, graduates, no experience. Then you're going to waste your time in teaching them what to do. And I want to build a culture that empower people to lead. So finally, I recently got in touch with someone, and he was willing to venture into this. So that is what is moving forward is about meeting the right person and grow the people and talent. And what I presented to him was the same values, the same beliefs that we work together to build this. If you are willing, then we come on board. And I don't go into partnership that easy. It means that I need to see whether we have the synergy, we are on the same page of thoughts. That is very important. Other than that, I think personality or character, working style, whatsoever, all these can overcome. But you need to have the same values. Do you see the same light? That is the most important thing. So moving forward for future development for Thrive, we are building on the consultancy and the trainer as we are speaking. And of course, HMC is, I've already focused and, put in my 9 months of efforts, 9 months of capital inside. I think it's time that we have to bear the fruit. No matter what are the consultants or expert is giving me some advice and recommendations, the only thing I can say is let's take the learning and we move forward. If not, there will never be a day that I can launch this platform because every expert will have their own opinions that, oh, you should do this. I cannot see your problem. I can't see your story. I think we just have to learn along the way. So moving forward, that's what's the plan for Thrive.
I definitely believe that Thrive will be something one day, and definitely HMC will bear you lots of fruits based on the efforts that and the process that I heard you have put in over the past few years. Actually, it's past few months, around there. Yeah, but definitely the efforts that you put in is worth years of effort compared to normal individuals like myself. Yeah. Um, uh, just now when you mentioned about the Indian friend that shared with you, I feel that that's a very uh, good lesson that many entrepreneurs can learn of. Most entrepreneurs, when they first started, yes, they will want to have their own team, and the easiest way to do it is always I pay you, I pay interns, I can get this work done. But I feel that, like what your Indian friend has mentioned, we are all starting from ground zero, and it's always better to find someone that is with the same value as you to build this together. And I think this brings back to the connections lesson that you mentioned to us, that it's always good to find connections and partnerships, not just getting a sales force to do what we want them to do. Yeah. So maybe now we can actually open, I believe that I asked too many questions. Yeah, so I believe that can open this Q&A floor to the rest. Anyone has any questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, maybe I got questions. Okay, so just now we touched on Try Consultancy, right? Correct. So what is your big why that you want to build Try Consultancy, and now from insurance to like try the holistic values of Try Consultancy, and as well as what is going to impact in the companies or the angle. Yeah. So what is your big why for Try Consultancy in that perspective lah?
When I created Try, it was meant to be a very visionary goal of building an empire. So what I want to do is specifically like what I've said in my service arena where my comfort zone is, that I can provide my expertise and build my expertise and bring this to companies. So Try Management Consultancy, as I said, is actually the single kiosk of service management project. That we don't just provide consultancy, we provide training, we provide digital platforms, because to the main objective is actually to help companies manage their customers successfully, to create and unlock more values for the customers and build a mutual success, like a circle of mutual success for the companies and their end organic customers. So many a times I feel that a lot of consultancy is about one way, meaning that the company asks for their needs and then they analyze, they give you a design process, and then they say, okay, we can help you to start all these things and implement. But what is that thing that comes back to the company and the day? Yes, it produces ROI, but does it stop at the ROI? So I'm actually trying to create more value out of this mission that I'm in, to be a service management consultancy. And it's particularly service. We don't talk about any other business consulting. Okay, we are not like McKinsey, we are not like E&Y, we are not like Deloitte or BCG. We don't provide consulting to many industries. We are only into service because that's what our experts are. And so I bring in experts that is in this arena. Very customers experience, very started from the ground like me, call centers all the way to customers experience. We know exactly how can we engage the customers. Like nowadays, would you be able to go beyond the mouse of text? People are texting, correct? How are you going to engage your customers via text? That's one thing that I developed, and I actually realized how to go about it during my insurance. And that is the part that is a very consumer experience, very in line with service. So I bring that teachings and methodologies right to this try management. And when I started try, the why is I want to do better and more for the service industry. Service industry has always been a very, I would say, cutthroat, very realistic industry, very fast moving. Turnovers are very high. So, and most importantly, it's about ROI. How many customers can I get? Paying customers, but they actually do not care about their employees. Employees are always the last in their pipeline. You see, so I want to do more than just that. So I've actually profiled customers for companies. And if you want to get your end organic in a sustainable model, that is what Try is doing to bring sustainability for customers, for clients. So my why started off with a very big visions of an empire, and then it skewed to a very unique why of bringing customer success to companies.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. One more question I have, a very personal one. So from just now I understand from a very introvert person last time, right? Correct. So how do you evolve to what you are now? Because now you're not very introvert.
I am still. I think we are. Okay. So there's always a lot of talk about extroverts, introverts, and currently the trend is talking about can you convert an introvert to extrovert, which is can. Like myself, the thing is that when I am introvert, I'm in my comfort zone, in my corporate world. So what I can do is I try not to, you know, mess around with politics. My ultimate principle when I was in a corporate world is I don't mess around with politics. I just want to do my work, and I want to go beyond my work for you. But don't get me involved with all this unnecessary, unproductive politics. Don't like. So I usually will stay clear. People will gossip with me. I say, oh, okay. Very diplomatic. Because I don't think it's good to involve all this energy. It's a very energy level. So when when I started to go into sales, I have to be more extrovert, meaning that I have to really stand on the street and say, hi, can you give me 2 minutes of time? Be very open. And that is breaking boundaries of the comfort zone already. And because that built my resilience for rejections. Imagine, are you comfortable in people coming to you and show you palm face, Say no, don't talk, don't even talk, and just like, so that's why when I learn this type of people, what I do is I receive it and I show kindness to people. So when people are doing the same on the street, surveying all these things, I say thank you so much. If I can, I will help. But if in the same line, I say 加油, okay, kasih, keep on fighting. I know your energy must go on, okay. It doesn't matter whether it's competitors or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody just needs the encouragement to go on. Because imagine you've been facing so many rejection. Just one word of kindness from anybody makes your day already. That's what happens to me. So coming from there and translating to being an extrovert, I learned about having to improve public speaking, having to be comfortable talking and giving training to audience of 20 people or even more. So I started to build on events. Since I'm good at organizing events, so I do small talk shows. Before COVID, I had small events to invite my insurance clients on a closed door event about career coaching. Then I go on to career coach for entrepreneur for start for people who wants to enter into self-employed or start their own business. So I do a small talk show. And then now I'm doing my regular Wednesday for career coaching. And most of my participants are from LinkedIn because I didn't really reach out via my Facebook actually. I'm a very LinkedIn person. So a lot of international clients like from the States, they will make time to come at 7 p.m. SGT. So when I say I must be very specific in my publication, I say, see you guys at regular Wednesday, 7 p.m. SGT. There are people who mistaken SGT to EST or CAT, time zones. So, sorry, SGT 7 p.m. So I will do, and there's international clients like I have Vietnamese, I have Finland, I have Indians, I have states. So they come and they attend and really learn from my career coaching matrix because before that I do not know about certifications or learn the proper way of coaching. I actually coach people by using a powerful question techniques. That's why when I met a fellow coach friend who actually found a coaching academy, he asked me that actually what you do is exactly what is a coach doing. So asked me to go for certifications late last year. So that's why it brings across that introvert to extrovert is by training. You can always train. It's just that one thing while training, very two important things. Okay, it's not just about mindset, but it's about willingness. Your emotional availability to be willing to engage conversations with people. You can be extrovert, but you're standing in a networking crowd and wait for people to come and approach you. You're no better than an introvert. Even though when people start the first conversation and you start to blabber out like an extrovert, but extrovert is about very comfortable in getting into conversations. So my shortcomings last time was I tend to get into conversations not knowing what they're talking. So it's also a mistake. But when I observe very unique, very I would say natural extrovert, how they behave, they don't even know what you're talking, but they can naturally pull in and wow, be an influencer really. So that's the path that I learned that okay, how to go about is observe and even start very minor starting conversation is how have you been during this period? How are you? All these things. It gets people going and then we start to talk. And also then again, extrovert blabbering out things. You must be very thoughtful and purposeful in how we want to get our conversations going. So this is how I become from introvert to extrovert, but I'm still an introvert now. I still like my own space.
Tony, does that answer your question?
Yeah. I think she answered perfectly. That means that I think she just positioned herself as various condition to choose her introvert or extrovert. But I think still about willing to change, willing to take action. Yeah. That's on that. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
I definitely agree. I think today we actually had a very wonderful sharing from Mavis. So maybe before we end this session, Mavis, do you have any quotes or inspiration to share with all these entrepreneurs out there that is listening to you?
I think the very one thing I would like to encourage entrepreneurs is if you have heard it, never to give up. But I think one thing is not about giving up. It's about moving forward. I'm always believe that we can never be in a situation that we always stuck in negativity. We always stuck in a problem that we think we cannot solve. Problem is there, but what is the solution? So I always tell people rather than thinking about problems, I choose to go forward. And moving forward is about taking actions. So taking actions blindly or not blindly doesn't matter. You have to take an action. That's maybe an encouragement for fellow friends or entrepreneurs who want to think about going into business or people who wants to think about starting a business. So you also must prepare, mentally, are you prepared for what's coming? Because then one thing is a lot of people say, I can try, but nothing to lose. Yes, you can try, nothing to lose, but it's the time that you're losing. So do you want to try for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? You are gone, but you must make it work. Thanks, Charles, for inviting me to this session. It's a pleasure and honor to be in this session. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mavis. So if you like what you hear for these short 55 minutes, do stay tuned to our subsequent Saturday's Entrepreneurship Impact session happening on every Saturday 11 a.m. So click the subscribe button, like and follow our Facebook channel and social media channel to see more of these sessions and events. If not, I thank everybody for your time today. Stay tuned to our next week's session at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and well. Bye-bye.
Bye.